Listen up, nerds. We don't ask for much. We don't even interrupt our show with third-party ads. We want to keep it that way. But to do that, we need your help. And we need your help in the form of American dollars. This podcast isn't without cost, and none of us take any compensation out of what we do here. We need your help to continue innovating and improving this podcast. I'm not sure how many of you subscribe to podcasts on iTunes or Stitcher or Google Play, but I'm extremely proud of the product that we produce every week. And for three amateurs, it is really high quality. That takes time and it takes money. So your sponsorship on Patreon, that's what we're asking for. If you're kind of nerdy, give us $1. You get ad block forgiveness and insider access. For $5, you're a nerd. You get early access to the podcast, all the kind of nerdy rewards. At $10, you're a super nerd. You get a one-time mystery gift and all the other stuff I already mentioned. And for $30 a month, you are that kind of nerd. You get swag from us every month. You're an official sponsor with shout-outs on the show and everything else that I've already mentioned. We're not here hat in hand, right? We're going to keep doing what we do. If you enjoy what we do, we're asking you to give a little back, to keep us afloat, keep us able to produce this show at this quality every single week. And you can do this by going to your show notes and clicking our Patreon link, or by going to patreon.com/thatkindofnerd. Hey, we appreciate it. Thank you.
And with that, welcome everyone to That Kind of Nerds podcast, a weekly show where we break down what is going on in the nerdy world. I am CJ Mellon, joined by Josh Burns and Brian Thornton.
What up?
Welcome to Brian's Jingle Corner.
It's actually a thing I've created in my house. It's just Brian's Jingle Corner, and nobody's allowed to go in there. And the kids are like, why did you take everything out of that corner? I'm like, that's Brian's Jingle Corner. They're like, oh, wait, is Brian going to come over and do jingles? And I'm like, yes. He's going to.
This odd tangent brought to you by Brian Roman, who decided to ask for more of Brian's Jingle Corner.
See, I read the Facebook comments.
We do. Listen, we read your Facebook comments and we take them to heart.
Not only do I read them, you said you were making ringtones, and I have to buy at least all the ringtones.
I'm working on it. It's a project.
Could we? Yes, yeah. Can we get those out there? Look, I mean, what are we talking about? Like price wise?
It'll be 99 cents.
99 cents a piece, right?
Yeah.
How many are there? Are there 1,000?
There are not 1,000.
I'm not the man of 1,000 voices. I have like 3 jingles.
Okay,
I have my
here's what I'm saying.
voice and
I have in my pocket $1,000 to get all of the Brian jingles. Can we have 1,000? Because I
will certainly work on that. I think
I will set different alerts based on the time of day and what day it is. And,
here's the context for all you fans. I put out a poll on our Facebook page. Said, hey, just listen. What's your favorite segment of That Kind of Nerd?
Poll that no one approved, by the way.
And
came to
Brian Roman,
no one was discussed about that. No one
was like, hey, I'm going to put this poll up.
What do you guys think if we take opinions?
Good.
And I'm like,
it happened, bro. And
CJ's like, I'm going to do it unilaterally. I don't need your opinion about others' opinions.
I'm just saying, I don't want some social network shit happening.
First off, Brian doesn't even Facebook, so I don't know how this word got back to him at all.
I get notifications on my phone, and I sometimes open them.
Every time he hits those Google alerts, he gets that.
Right.
And I asked, hey, what was your favorite segment? And Brian Roman said, Brian's Jingle Corner, to which, and I said, hey, listen, I actually got a couple of these stockpiled saved up. And he was like, at first I was happy to hear this news, and now I realize you've been holding out on me. And he's angry. And I was like, oh, listen, I'm working on a project to make That Kind of Nerd ringtones of Brian. Save me. Just give me some time and let me try to do this right.
And the problem was, the moment he said that, I said, shut up and take my money.
So it's coming. Let's get to what you're actually here for, the nerdy world and us breaking it down.
No, you're here for Brian's Jingle Corner. So this episode's all jingles all the time. Jingles and Bane. That's the entire episode.
All right, so let's start with this. There's some news coming out that is going to change the way Netflix has been operating for the last few years. And that is Disney, by 2019, from what I have read, is going to be pulling all its movies and all its content off of Netflix and starting its own streaming service. Now, of course, this won't affect things like Marvel, Netflix, shows like Daredevil and
no, but it'll affect the rate at which Marvel movies get released.
But it's also going to affect how everyone's using iTunes, how everyone's using Netflix. I mean, because that's a huge draw. When they got this deal, a lot of people were like, "Hey, I need."
I was quite pleased. I watched Moana the other day.
So good. So good.
Not bad at all. I really enjoyed that movie.
It's so good. It's actually my favorite.
So they're going to be calling this service Disney Life. It launched back in November of 2015 in the UK, and now it's going to become kind of the US version of it. They're offering it right now in the UK for $9.99 there, which is $12.97 US, just because currency rates and all that stuff. But what do you guys think about the fact that?
Hang on. I'm getting a reading. CJ's going to ask us if we would pay money for a separate streaming service just for Disney movies.
No, I mean, of course you will. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. Wait.
Hang on. Question.
Brian.
Yes,
hey,
Josh.
Brian.
Yes, Josh.
Do you like Disney movies?
I do like Disney movies.
Are you willing to pay money for them?
I totally am.
Me too. Are we best friends?
Oh my God, yes.
That is not what I was going to ask. That is a given question. Here's my thing: is what do you think this does to Netflix? How do you think this affects Netflix? Because
it doesn't.
I just really hold on. I just see this bit being the next domino falling. Right. This is another.
Nope. Listen. It doesn't affect their viewership. What it does do is give them reason to become more promotional and or maybe separate their plan, discount, do something different.
And create more original content to keep people on there.
The original content is amazing. However, if I'm spending, I don't know, $10 a month on Disney, I would like a reduced rate on Netflix if I could get it. And I think that's something that's got to be in the works.
So you think Netflix's response to this is, hey, let's change our offerings? Let's drop it down?
No, not necessarily immediately, but I think they need to be more promotional somehow. There needs to be something new and innovative from Netflix. It's been quite some time.
Indeed. Agreed.
No, I'm serious, CJ.
No,
they haven't.
I hear what you're saying.
Other than Netflix originals, which I love, but content isn't the same thing as service. And they're going to have to stay competitive. When's the last? I mean, haven't changed their price in years.
Well, the last thing that they did was do, I think, the $11.99 where you could have the 4 people viewing the account at the same time thing.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that was a reasonable change.
Right. But if I can't get Disney and I'm now paying whatever I'm paying for Disney and it's not on Netflix,
right,
it's one less thing that's tying me to Netflix as a subscriber.
Right. And that right there, I think, is the interesting thing, that you're absolutely right. They have to do something to adapt. I just don't know what else you can do. I mean, if you look at the financials, Netflix is actually not making money at all. They're losing money, but they're still highly sought after company.
They own the market.
Right. But if companies like Disney and stuff like that start venturing out, what someone else brought up was this is also the cableization of streaming services, right? I left cable as a cord cutter because I was tired of these packages and having to deal with all this. Yeah,
but you're going to end up paying $12 for Netflix, $8 for Hulu, $10 for Disney, another $8 for DC Direct. At that point, you might as well get cable.
It's the same thing as cable.
Right. And that's an issue for me because I don't want the cable. I haven't had a good experience with the equipment. I haven't had a good experience with the overall services. And streaming's a lot more convenient for me. And I just think it's a lot of people were freaking out about the whole, cord cutting philosophy, and now we're seeing that companies are like, hey, there's a lot of people who want to do this. Let's change the market. And I can't tell if this is a good thing or if this is a bad thing for users and for us as viewers.
I know that answer.
Nothing's ever good for us.
It is a thing that is happening. And you will all just have to suck it up and deal with it.
I don't think it's either good or bad. I think it's Disney testing the waters and saying, does this make sense? Because, I mean, let's face it, if this way doesn't work, it's not like Netflix is going to go, no, we don't want to.
I mean, let's face it, Disney gets their money either way, whether it be from monthly subscriptions or Netflix buying the rights to have their movies streamed on their service every month or year.
Right, but don't you feel like this is them going, is this possible?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Right? Because they could fold up in 6 months, couldn't they? And just go right back on Netflix.
Absolutely.
And nobody would say anything about it. It'd be like it never happened.
Here's the other thing, too, right? And what we talked about with the Apple TV in particular was their TV app allows you to take all these streaming services and combine them in one spot, right? Instead of having to go to app to app to app and universal search. So if I want to find something, I could just ask, hey, play me this, and bam, it searches across all these streaming services. That doesn't happen on Android TV. That doesn't happen on TiVo. It doesn't happen anywhere else. We're seeing some more fragmentation again, and the question is who's going to fill this gap and make the device that takes all these streaming services and puts them together in a way that everyone can find. Because right now it's Amazon, Hulu, Netflix. You've now got DC Direct, and then you're gonna have Disney. I mean, who's gonna help out the people who are stuck with navigating? Oh, you can't watch a movie on this; it's on here. I mean,
Apple TV is the closest, especially when you consider that now Disney is fragmented. Apple TV is certainly the closest.
Yeah, and Apple has a relationship with Disney, right?
That's what I'm saying,
and with Pixar, which is
Pixar,
good, which is good to have. But I mean, for people who don't buy the Apple ecosystem, what
if Disney content went exclusive Apple?
No, they tried to do that with
as a limited release. Wouldn't that be crazy?
Yeah, it's what they did with the iPod back in the day when the iPod video came out.
Brian, is that so far fetched? Like,
it absolutely is far fetched.
No. I don't mean it. I'm not saying exclusive only Apple. I'm saying a limited release early. iTunes, Apple TV, they get it first. That's not that crazy.
That's not far-fetched. That could happen.
That's what I'm saying.
Here's the thing with Disney, right? As a whole, Disney does this artificial supply and demand. They put movies back in the vault, right?
They recall all of them.
Seriously, when they're like, it's going in the vault, I sat there going, right. I'll buy this 6 months later.
I mean,
no.
you guys must have been exposed to this. Brian, certainly at Blockbuster, and I think all of us at Best Buy, where these movies would literally get yanked off the shelf.
Yes.
Yep. Just yanked. Gone.
So this streaming service can still
There is
create
actually
that.
a schedule behind that, believe it or not.
No, I do. I believe it. And listen, it works, right? It sells old movies.
Right, but behind the schedule is a mad scientist.
Oh, yes.
That's the problem.
It's the giant puppet master making everybody dance.
And this is a way, and that right there, though, is the hook to get people to do this, besides the fact it's Disney saying, hey, listen, and with your theory, Josh, here on
Captain Hook. I got it.
I see what you did, CJ.
The limited exclusivity is saying, hey, listen, we're taking this out of the vault for a little bit of time. It'll be available on the Disney streaming service and on Apple TV. If you don't have one of those two things, sucks to be you. Peace out. Which will be interesting. I just thought it was such an interesting dynamic and a thing to do, and I'm still unsure about how I feel for it. Besides, okay, this is another thing for me to pay to take my subscription. Now I got to go make another flow chart, another freaking Excel chart for you listeners. But sure, whatever, I'll do that.
I feel like eventually, because I'm an Apple user, this is going to pay off. So. And that's actually how I feel about it. I'm fine with it.
So the other thing that I came across was I don't know if you guys have actually seen the movie Death Wish and the 25
Charles Bronson. Yeah,
the 25 sequels that came with it after the fact.
this guy thinks we haven't seen Death Wish.
Listen, there's some people who all right, hold on. There are some people who haven't seen it.
Wait. But here's the thing.
That's adorable.
I know. There are people out there who don't see movies.
Yes.
Like myself.
Correct.
Or perhaps Josh. But you asked us a question.
That was dumb of me. You're right.
You asked us, have we seen Death Wish? To which me and Josh are like, of course, we've seen Death Wish.
Who allowed this peasant in my presence? So some news came out that, of course, Hollywood is just spinning the remake engine at full speed, that they are remaking the movie Death Wish. It's with Eli Roth and Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis.
Can someone give context to the people who haven't seen Death Wish, what this movie is about, and just why we may shake our heads or be very happy about this?
Brian?
Revenge. All that movie is about.
Yes, all right. So very loosely, it's a revenge flick. More
it's a revenge story.
Charles Bronson has his family killed. So he has to go get revenge. This
is what The Punisher was based off of.
Yes.
This movie.
Yes.
So if you know The Punisher story, you know Death Wish.
It's the movie that launched 1,000 ships about revenge.
The thing that Charles Bronson couldn't do that Bruce Willis can is casual humor. Casual humor. Charles Bronson did not have it.
That's true. Bruce Willis does.
Hey, Ma, can I get an ice cream? No dice. Bronson doesn't get it.
Yeah. No, I am excited by the prospect of a movie like this with Bruce Willis. I am confused why Eli Roth is directing it.
You saw the trailer, right? The trailer looked great.
The trailer looked great, but Eli, I mean, dude, a trailer can always look great.
You're right. And this is my own argument. A trailer can always, you're right.
You can make a trailer look great.
Is it more than 90 minutes is my question.
No, that's a good question. Actually, let me find out what the running time is.
If the runtime is fewer than 90 minutes, we don't even need to talk.
And Eli Roth is really kind of famous for Cabin Fever, Hostel, Hostel Part 2, obviously.
Yeah, a ton of shitty horror movies.
Yeah. Which begs the question, is this the guy that you want in charge of the franchise?
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm not.
Right, but
all
these movies were sort of very niche, very, very confined to their time. So this seems like a good spot to resurrect it.
There is not a new running time for the new Death Wish. Yeah,
I think it's still in like post production, isn't it? It's
probably
they're still working on the running time.
Sometimes they announce that shit. You don't know.
Just what do you guys think? It's another remake. It's a story that
I'm okay. I'm okay with it, especially with Bruce Willis in it. It's going to be a movie that I watch. Not in the theater. Obviously, I'm not gonna go to the theater. That's crazy talk. But I'm definitely going to watch this movie and likely will buy it on iTunes.
The other bit of news that it was in the TV and movie realm was a little bit of news about The Dark Tower. This movie.
Oh, I saw this last night.
Oh, did you? Okay, so was it as bad as everyone says? And there's a lot of people like, if you read the books, you'll hate it. You're like, okay, well, most people haven't. So just how was the movie as a movie?
Well, I did read the first two books, but here's the thing. As a movie, it wasn't great.
Okay.
I was extremely disappointed by a lot of things. And then like my knowledge of the books just added to that disappointment because I was like, I don't remember that. I don't think that's right.
So what if you see it having no knowledge of the books?
But even having no knowledge of the book, it's not a great movie. It's very disappointing.
Okay. Well, fair enough. I will not.
And I can tell you right now, a lot of it is because of the 90-minute running time. They're just shoved way too much into 90 minutes. It's not that it didn't make sense, but it moved too fast. They couldn't develop
when
anything.
It is free, I will watch it.
So here's the saving grace to the Dark Tower fans and franchises that Glenn Mazzaro, who used to be one of the showrunners of The Walking Dead, is picking up a Dark Tower TV series.
Yeah, I saw this.
Is that a better application, Brian?
It's supposed to be a direct adaptation of the books from what I read.
Yes. It's still up in the air if it's going to a streaming service or if it's actually going to, a network.
Well, they got to shop it around.
They did, but it's about 10 to 13 episodes right now for the season 1, which is, again...
Wouldn't you love to see this hit FX?
Yeah. I'd be actually okay with this with Amazon.
No, I'm not sci-fi. Not sci-fi. Well, Amazon's kind of pie in the sky, isn't it? Isn't, like, I would consider an Amazon original bigger than FX at this point.
I think a show like this, either you do Showtime or HBO or AMC.
Ooh,
one or the other.
That's like
good play, buddy. Well, I mean,
you're setting the bar really high.
First off, allow me.
Brian's Jingle Corner. Do that again. I disagree with you. Do it again.
This guy has ties to AMC already, so it's completely feasible that they can do AMC.
Correct.
And the Dark Tower series itself has been picked up and dropped off by HBO multiple times. So it's completely feasible that they have a good enough pitch and a good enough idea.
It seems perfect for HBO, but it doesn't seem like it makes sense. Like, this is all sort of, hey, you know what we did? We did a show because the movie was ass.
Well,
like, it doesn't seem like...
But
I think they did the show. A, they were doing the show before the movie even came out.
Correct,
and the reviews came out.
B,
they've been talking about doing this as a show for years. Like, the original concept was, we're going to do a show, and then it's going to culminate in a movie, and then you're going to go back to the season of the show.
You're like we were talking about it when it was Prism, before HBO bought us.
Yeah, so they've been talking about this for a long, long time. And it's gone through many iterations, and we got a lackluster movie. I mean, I'm not saying it was terrible. There was definitely some redeeming qualities of it.
How was
I just
Idris
was not
Elba?
a fan of it. Idris Elba was always wonderful.
Was he wonderful? Because I feel like he'd be wonderful, but Matthew McConaughey would suck ass.
See, I like Matthew McConaughey in this role. I do.
It's just the storytelling was off.
The storytelling was bad.
Sure.
Everything,
I like you
everything
a
else
little-
was bad.
But listen,
less.
this is again
less.
something that we've talked about time and time again. When there's big universes and big worlds to this, it's better to do this on a series on either a streaming service or a respected network than it is to try to cram this all into movies. And this is again the rise of the golden age of television, right?
Right,
Saying
because
that there's better
13
stories.
hours is better than 1.5.
Correct. And that's, and I mean, we kind of need to.
Well, I got to correct you on that. 13 hours of, I don't know, Game of Thrones, great. 13 hours of Creed, not so great.
Well, what about Creed?
Are you talking the movie Creed or are you talking about the band Creed?
The band Creed.
There's nothing wrong with 13 hours of Creed, you bastard.
There's absolutely
And no one
everything
can
wrong with
convince
it.
me otherwise.
There's
They're awful.
everything wrong with 13 hours of
You,
Creed.
listen, you enjoy
Really
your
bad.
world, I'll enjoy mine.
I will. My
I'll take the-
world,
and I
my
will
world has
take the
Iron
flack.
Man in it. Okay,
I will take the flack for being a Creed supporter. Yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah, you should.
They were my
Shame.
first concert. They were my first concert. Second.
That's a
second
shame.
concert. They were my
That's
second
a-
concert.
That's a shame.
I looked. I
Really?
liked it. I had a
Because
great
on
time.
episode 24, you said it was your first concert, so now
I
you're
can't
a fucking liar.
remember. All right. Well, now it's time to take a look at the world of comic books, how it's affecting movies, how it's affecting television, but most of all, how it's affecting Brian. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Cape Talk.
Cape Talk. How is it affecting me this week, CJ?
So this week, we're going to talk about a couple things, but the first thing is, Brian, are you familiar with Millarworld? Oops, how's if I don't hit the microphone? Brian, are you familiar,
with
Millarworld?
But just you
Middle
headbutted the
world. I did.
microphone,
I
which was amazing.
So, Brian, you're obviously familiar with Millarworld, correct?
Millar World? Yes.
They are the comic book company who
They
was
have brought us
behind-
some movies already, such as Kick-Ass and The Kingsman.
Right. Well,
Yes,
they just got announced that they were purchased by Netflix.
I saw this.
That's
This does
good.
affect me greatly.
Get the reboot engine spinning, Netflix, in a good way, and let's start getting some cool
They don't need to
content coming up.
reboot shit.
There's a listen. I think we
No,
need
no,
to
no,
see.
no, no.
Kick
What if
Ass.
they could add? What if they could add to the Kingsman? What if they could add to the Kingsman?
Fucking bup. All right.
Pup fucking pup. Go ahead, dude.
The station of Kick-Ass, I don't think the second one did very well, so doing a third one on Netflix would be perfectly fine. Kingsman is awesome.
Leave Kingsman alone. Let it do its
and
thing.
whoever, I don't remember.
What if
who
they
owns-
could add? What if they
I
could
don't
add
know.
to Kingsman?
I don't know what if. All I know is that Netflix doesn't own the rights to Kingsman, but they own the rights to everything else that Millar is going to do or has done. Stuff like
all right,
Superior
fair
and
enough.
things. There's a lot of stuff in this world that Millar has written and done that is really interesting. They did this this whole Superior storyline, which they've been talking about doing a movie of. I would not be surprised if they do a Netflix show about this kid who gets imbued with superpowers, this crippled kid who just turns into his favorite superhero from the movies. Like, it's gonna be cool.
How do we not have Wanted the series on anyone's list right now? How do we not immediately ask for Wanted to be back and get us a better version and bring James McAvoy back because I love the bastard.
Because the Wanted that you know and love is nothing like the Wanted from the comic books.
Right, which is I didn't like. I want better Wanted. I don't want what I saw with
Have
Angelina
you read
Jolie.
Better Wanted?
No, I don't care. It's
Then
obviously
shut
better
up.
than. Is it not better than the movie that we got?
It was based around supervillains, not assassins.
That's
It
not
was
an answer.
different.
So I mean, is it better than the movie we got?
Brian, he's right.
I-
That's not an answer.
I know. But they're so different. I mean, I like the comic book better than the movie, but I also like the
Answer. No answer. We want an answer.
So before you run for office, can you just answer the question?
Answer.
The comic book better. Okay, listen. The alligator mouth is eating the comic book version. You see what I'm doing here?
Greater than.
Greater than.
So I would like to see that as a series. Is that too hard to ask for? Is that too hard to understand? Can you wrap your brain around that?
I mean, it's really hard to ask for if you don't know what you're asking for. You've never read the books. How do you know what you're asking for? You could be asking for, Creed songs for the next 13 hours.
And again, I would be okay with that. But this is really cool.
I don't think you would. I don't think you'd make it past hour 3.
A challenge accepted. Because
Great.
I even listened to Scott Stapp's solo album and Alter Bridge. And if you know who any of these people are,
Brian,
I'm sorry.
Listen, that kind of nerd fans, I need you to have CJ live stream 13 hours of him listening to Creed. And here are the rules. He can only get up to eat and use the potty.
Nope.
What potty breaks?
He's
got to
pick one of those two. I will need Jenny to live stream that. I like something where you don't control where it starts and ends, so that I can hear all the consternation.
So anyway, let's move on from Creed. Let's go back to this. Let's go back to this world. How did this get back on to damn Creed? Anyway, I think this is good news. This is really cool.
You like Creed?
Jingles, Bane, and Creed. Sounds like the worst 80s sitcom ever.
Back on topic.
What
I think
was
this
topic?
is back on topic. I think
What
this
topic?
Is the topic of the Netflix acquisition.
Oh, I thought you were done with that.
I thought we were done with
I was just saying this is really, oh my god.
Is it viable? Is it big news?
Didn't you move on to Cape Talk?
This
We
is
are in
Cape Talk.
This is Cape Talk.
The comic book company being purchased by Netflix. That is Cape Talk.
Well, Miller World is in the comic book company.
Yes, okay,
but,
not the other Netflix.
Listen, I'm not going to split hairs with you, but it's not a publisher at all.
Okay, so besides the amazing battle on Game of Thrones, which if you want to hear our thoughts about it, you can go check out our Game of Thrones episode. There was another piece of nerdy news that dominated the internet this week, and that was Ryan Reynolds giving us the first look of Josh Brolin's Cable in Deadpool 2. And I'm happy about this. I like what I see so far, and I'm excited.
Looks like Cable. That's like my only thoughts are it looks like Cable. Brian, go.
I'm extremely happy with how Josh Brolin looks. He looks fantastic. I don't know what more you want me to say about it besides the fact that he has a teddy bear on his belt. I'm a little curious as to why he has that. Other than that, it's going to be awesome.
I also got the note that he needs more pockets and a bigger gun, and of course we have to hide his feet. So that
his feet. Yes.
That's only because of the artist.
That's exactly why.
Rob Liefeld can't draw ankles and feet to save his life. It's okay. We forgive him for it. He co-created Deadpool.
So, Brian, you had brought up the DC streaming service earlier in our conversation, and there's some news coming out of there that DC's live-action Titans has just cast a cast member. They have cast Raven.
Yes, I did see this, but I don't know the person.
Yeah, it's an Australian actress by the name of Tegan Croft, who basically doesn't really...
Spell that for me. Teagan?
Yep. Croft. You can also
and Croft,
learn how to spell
Lara
that by...
Croft?
Yep. You can also learn how to spell that by clicking the link in the show notes, and you can go ahead and...
Okay. All right.
My kids, by the way, love this show.
Which show
But they
is
love
this?
Teen Titans Go.
Yes, Teen Titans Go.
Yes,
right.
No,
Brian's about to throw pitchforks at you.
Josh, no. Josh, no. Why?
What?
My head.
What did I do wrong?
Ladies and gentlemen, I yield the floor to Brian Thornton for 3 minutes to yell at Josh Burns.
Why
about the way
can't
he's
you
raising his
pronounce my
children.
name? You haven't been drinking.
I'm very tired.
It's very easy.
I have
It's
a
a four.
newborn and I'm very
It's a
tired.
ton. Thornton.
Anyway, go ahead.
The N in the middle, just in case you're trying to spell it.
I yield the
people at
floor,
home.
sir.
Thornton.
Go.
Anyway, Teen Titans Go is an abomination to everything and everyone, and it's great for little kids.
Yes.
Let me finish.
That gentleman has not yielded his time.
Let me finish. I'm going to filibuster this shit. It is great for children of young ages, but your kids, who I know are leagues ahead of other kids their age.
Discerning individuals.
They are discerning individuals. For a child who can dissect a Spider-Man trailer as well as your freaking child did, he deserves to watch the good Teen Titans show, which was on many moons ago. If you need it, I have it. I'll let you borrow it.
Is it on a streaming service?
I don't think it is, but maybe it'll be on this. Maybe it'll be on this DC streaming service. Who knows? But Teen Titans had an amazing show. What was that? 2003 to about 2008, where it was actually serious cartoon about teen sidekicks fighting evil, and
was pretty awesome.
I think your kids would enjoy
and it
that.
wasn't about waffles and shaking your butt for bees.
Look, I'm on board. We're watching Flash in its entirety for the second time in as many months. So
this live action show is being done by, of course, Greg Berlanti, Jeff Johns, and Avica Goldsman.
I don't know who Avica Goldsman is.
Apparently, she's a Hollywood to-do.
Listen, I won't listen to you say Avada Kedavra one more time. It's enough. It's a killing curse, and I don't want to.
I'm so sorry, especially close to Harry Potter's birthday. That's very insensitive.
Listen,
don't do it.
Listen. Did you say Greg Berlanti?
Yes.
Did you
I'm
say
on.
Jeff,
I'm
did
on
you
board.
Say Jeff Johns?
I did.
I'm on board.
Great. I'm watching it.
Yep.
All right.
She looks good. She looks like if I dyed her hair purple and gave her pale skin, she'd be Raven. I've never seen anything this girl has been in. She hasn't been in a ton.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I'm all for it. Raven's. Let me be very clear. Outside of Robin, Raven is my favorite Teen Titan.
Wow.
So they better get her right.
Absolutely. I agree. All right, so we shall see when DC unveils the show in 2000.
We shall see, CJ.
Well,
You know what's left to do?
See.
Is it a CW thing or is it streaming only?
Streaming only on this
Streaming
DC
only.
streaming service.
Oof, that's a big risk.
No, I think it's the right.
I think it's the right
As
move.
we just discussed with Disney, I
Really?
think it's the right move.
No, you know why it's the right
but
move?
Disney,
You know why it's the right move?
Disney's got big balls, right? Berlanti shouldn't have great big balls. I'm saying great big balls. I'm holding my microphone.
Listen. The size of Disney's balls aside, you know why this is a good move? Because they're already going to get a ton of viewership because the third season of Young Justice is premiering on this
Correct.
platform.
Yep.
Okay.
That's the audience you want. The people who are going to pay to see Young Justice season 3 are also going to want to see a Teen Titans show. So,
All right.
there you go.
I'm with
There
you.
go. I'm buying it.
No argument.
I'm streaming it. I'm down. I'll lend you my login.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of Cape Talk. So I like to scour the internet, and I like to find the weird, the obscure, and just the newsworthy, and then I ask these gentlemen for their tech perspective. Just once.
That was a Yankee Doodle Dandy.
Just once. I want to intro this segment without a bebop.
That was very sort of.
Well, you know what I imagine?
That's much more freeform. That one.
I kind of imagine like the DSL, like the Ethernet dial-up.
Yes.
Like
Yep. So, Josh, I put a segment into the show notes this week to which your reply was, "What the fuck is this?" And it was, Hellblade punishes you for dying a lot. Now, this story has been updated and some things have been confirmed, but there is a video game that is, quote-unquote, or threatening to punish its players that if you die too much, it will delete your save games and you have to start all over again.
Yeah, well, that's what you get for sucking people.
Now, the
Stop
thing is,
sucking.
the game officially has been announced that this is kind of all just a motivational tool. They won't actually do it. But to which my reply is, why not? This sounds like a great idea. If you die too much in a video game, I should have to start over. That's how it used to be.
Look, first and foremost, if I bought the game, you don't get to decide when I start over. I paid money for the game. I get to decide when I start over. Beyond that, I have no opinion. Brian, it sounds like you do.
I kind of like it when games do this, like, kind of new different ways of kind of screwing with gamers. There was indeed a game many moons ago back on the GameCube. I believe it was called Eternal Darkness. That played on this whole like psychological thing. You were in an insane asylum. You're trying to figure out if you were crazy or not crazy or things like that. And there was a part of this game that told you to turn off your GameCube right away. And if you did, it erased your save file. I love it when games do stuff like this. It's cool. It keeps you on your toes. And honestly, if you suck that much at a game, unless it's Dragon Souls or Bloodborne, which are meant to be impossibly hard, yeah, I wouldn't mind starting over because obviously I suck and I need more practice.
I mean, I'm down for this. I think it's a fun little mechanism. I think it adds some drama. It makes you kind of think about what you're doing within the game, and it kind of makes you pay more attention. I can't tell you how many times I'm playing Fallout or Oblivion, and I have a million save files, and I go into a battle with somebody, and like, oh, that sucked. Go back, and then I didn't learn from my for my actions.
Yeah, I mean,
just keep going through.
Seriously, if you're smart enough and you do multiple save files, if you just keep dying at one point, just load up the other save file where you didn't die so much.
Right, which is what I do, and I think that game publishers are saying, hey, listen, you're really not really trying anymore. You just know that you have this safety net. What if we just remove the safety net and really make you think about how you're going to play this level? I think it's interesting.
Right, like honestly, like if I lost all my lives on World 8-4 in Mario, guess what? I had to start over. All the hell, like all the way back at the beginning.
Yes.
So I'm okay with this. I think it's fun.
The other thing I came across on the wild web, as I will call it, was a great article by The Verge, and it's about prescription video games maybe being the future of medicine. And before you scratch your head and go, what the hell are you talking about? I want you to think of a couple companies. When I say like Lumosity, right, and those brain training companies, they were trying to make games that improved your memory and helped your cognitive function. The problem is that a lot of these claims are very unsubstantiated. It's based on nothing. And it's really just a way to sell you, games that don't actually help you.
Wait. Are you telling me that if I can't spot the difference between two pictures inside of 30 seconds, that my brain's not getting better?
That's correct, Brian. They're lying to you.
The fuck? That explains a lot.
So this company is actually working on actual clinical trials, double-blind studies, the whole scientific method to create games to help with cognitive function. The company's name is called Achille. It's using VR and AR to make really great interactive games, and it's very interesting the way they're going about it. I highly recommend you check out the video that we have in our show notes that kind of explains it. But I just thought it was an interesting way to approach this medium, because one of their goals is to put on a VR headset, right? Get you in a rig. And one of their games is basically a city that is a maze. And you walk through it. And then after you solve the puzzle, they change one thing about it. And you keep going through this and you try to map out the brain. You try to remember where everything was and adapt to these little changes. And they're hoping that this treatment can help with Alzheimer's and they can help with people in depression. And it's an interesting application because there's actually a lot of merit to this. So
I think it makes sense as a remedy for folks who have challenges with cognitive function.
Right.
So as in exploratory science, I think it makes sense. I think it's I
think it helps that it's VR.
Calling it the future of medicine is a real problem for me.
I agree too.
Because because it's more about a clinical training than it is about actual medicine. So I think that the more we can use technology to improve life, all life, and I don't mean just, for those who have challenges, but for all life, the better off we'll be. And if we're not exploring ways to ease the pain of others or improve training or improve life or improve rehab for people with challenges with cognitive function, then we're making a mistake and we're doing it wrong. This makes all the sense in the world to me.
And this was an interesting thing too. When we had watched House of Cards together, right? We had seen that there was a VR application for helping people cope with PTSD.
Yes.
Right. And these are the kind of focuses that they're talking about. So, Brian, this is not the Lumosity will make you smarter by making you do a couple mazes and match the fruit together. This is for.
But they say my IQ went up like 4 points.
It did not, sir. And they actually lost a lawsuit. They had to pay, I think it was like $16 million based off of these false accusations.
That lovely lady on the television commercial said that she felt smarter.
Right. And this is out to treat ADHD, autism, depression, Alzheimer's. Is those things. So it's not suited for everybody. They're not making a catch-all for this. So I thought it was super interesting.
That is really interesting. And I think with the popularity of VR and AR, it makes more sense doing this. Like doing a Sudoku puzzle 10 times in a row it's not going to help, honestly. But I mean, something like this, which actually puts you into a situation that you need to figure out without like actually putting you in like any sort of danger or anything, I think that actually would help a lot. Right.
So again,
we're in agreement.
Very interesting on this topic. I highly suggest, again, you check out our show notes. We have a link to the video. It's an amazing video to watch because they're really breaking down what this is all about. So highly recommend you check it out and give us your thoughts on the topic. If you think that this is something that maybe other industries should be exploring, please let us know. Brian, I have a question for you. You come across a lot of programs. You have a lot of usernames. Do you use any kind of password manager at all? Use any program to help you make and generate passwords?
No. But now that you bring it up, I forgot my iTunes password. I gotta change it.
Well, listen, there's a lot of misconceptions out there, and a couple of years ago, a security expert by the name of Bill Burr, not the comedian, kind of gave out some guidelines back in 2013.
Does my password need an ampersand?
Right, so that was it, right? It was P @ sign, SSW0RD123 with the exclamation point.
Mine is huge dick 69.
Right, people are saying like
with a 1 for the I and
yeah, exactly. So you can't.
There's no way you'd
that.
ever get that.
Yeah, so he's saying, listen, in 2003 it was irregular capitalization, special characters, and at least one numeral, right? Those are what makes a strong password. Well, guess what? In 2017, the same guy goes, hey, remember all that advice I gave you back in 2003? Yeah, I was really wrong. Like, that's a bad idea. People are guessing these things, no problem. You know what your new password should be?
1, 2, 3, 4.
No, correct horse battery staple.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, correct horse battery staple. 4 random but common words put together in a string. It's a lot easier for actually you to remember, right? But it's also hard for algorithms to guess.
I gotta tell you, I'm never gonna remember that ever. Not ever.
I'm not saying it actually needs to be correct horse battery staple.
No, but like 4 random words, like Bane, Jingle, Corner, Creed.
There you go. Except
totally
you can't
works.
use that now because you just put it on the on the podcast. So.
People don't want to log into my shit. Trust me. There's nothing going on there.
Now people can remember your iTunes password for you. There you go.
Oh, yeah, right?
There you go. So that made me ask a question. If you could make the password for the other person on the podcast, what do you think the 4 random words would be? So, Josh, what do you think Brian's password would be? 4 random words that Brian would pick to make his password.
I can't wait to hear this.
Did we lose, Josh?
No. I'm having a very hard time with this. This is very difficult. I'm not sure I can possibly. I'm not. No. I can't make a password for Brian.
I'm thinking 4 words for Brian that could make a password.
Batman, Flash, Spider-Man. 4 words. Go.
Yeah. But listen, it's 4 random words, but they have to have something in common. That's 2 on the nose, right?
Is that 2 on the nose?
It's 2 on the nose. So it would be like a Batman, whiskey, robot, comic.
Okay, you did it. Good job. Fantastic. I don't have to do it now.
Okay, Brian, what would Josh's 4-word password be?
This is terrible because if I say something weird, he's gonna get offended.
I don't think I've ever been offended by anything.
No, you're not. You haven't.
This is difficult, isn't it? Difficult.
This is difficult.
I have mine. It would be
Apple. Hang on. Apple tumescently soup vodka.
Mine would. I believe his would be whiskey boss sports hat. And now I offer you guys me, and of course I know Creed is somehow going to work into all of this.
Oh
this
no,
episode.
it totally is.
So
hang on.
4-word password for me
with arms wide open.
Oh, you're such a dick. I love it.
Dr. Creed, I stole Brian's name.
It's too many.
Is that
No,
too
it
many?
works. That works. It's 4 words exactly.
Dr. Creed, Tech, Flugelgorp.
I can't even remember how to spell Flugelgorp.
Exactly.
I'll be sitting there on my computer. I'm locked out of Facebook. Well, I guess that's kind of a good thing. All right. I'm really curious to hear what you, the listeners, would assign us our 4-word passwords based on your interactions
Bad
with us
idea.
on this
My
show.
best friend's a listener.
And I would love to see them on Facebook at facebook.com/thatkindofnerd or Twitter at thatkindofnerd. I would love to hear these.
I would like to hear my wife's 4-word password for me. Actually, that's the most interesting part of. That's my big.
I think it would be like
takeaway
do
from
the fucking
tonight's
dishes.
The thing is, I already do the fucking dishes, so that's definitely not going to be her fucking password.
Oh, I want Foldy made of mine.
All right, you got some suggestions. Keep going. Bonus points to see who can make the most creative Creed reference for mine. I'll give you that. All right. Hey, Josh, there's a company out there that makes a lot of accessories that you and I are actually big fans of. It's Anker.
Anker? Is it Anker?
It's Anker. Listen, they're no affiliation with us. We get no money from them. They just make damn good products.
Yep.
And Anker has made a Alexa speaker that is like an Echo Dot, but it's cheaper. And there's two things in there that I like: Anker and Sheeper. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what this dot is and why this is something that is pretty interesting?
All right, here's the thing. You need to know first about the Echo Dot. The Echo Dot is not an Amazon Echo. It does not control your things. It's a satellite thing that connects to other things so that the other things can understand what you're saying. So you say, Alexa, do this. And you're not in a room where your Amazon Echo is. So the dot translates what you say to your things. Here's the problem. The Amazon Echo Dot, the Amazon Echo, all of those products work approximately half the time. So a cheaper version that does the same thing is favorable. And Anker is a great manufacturer. I can get behind really anything they do because I own a ton of their products. So if this is less expensive and if you already own an Amazon Echo and it's part of your life and it's part of your ecosystem, then please buy this less expensive solution and have a better time because you've spent less money on your half functional product. That's my explanation, CJ. People that use these products are dumb.
Well, all right. There's nothing I can say to top that.
Good. That's the end of the word from that kind of nerd on this topic.
So it's time for the nerd degree. It's where that kind of nerd gets its opinions on a topic, a product, or a movie. We give it the third degree. It's an inquisition of sorts. And today we're looking at a product that asks a question. What if you could brush your teeth in 10 seconds? But of course, it's done through the power of the Kickstarter. So this is ridiculous. There's a product called the
sometime
Amber
in 18 months from now, you'll be able to possibly think about at one point brushing your teeth with a pacifier that looks like a toothbrush.
I really wish I could tell you that this product didn't raise $3 million, but it did.
I'm really confused. Hang on. It's a pacifier.
So you put this in your mouth. Right? They say, quote, it's a revolutionary new toothbrush.
Yeah, everything on Kickstarter is revolutionary.
Right. That brushes your teeth automatically in just 10 seconds.
How long does it take you to brush your teeth?
2 minutes.
Yeah, it should take
it's like a 2.5 minute process.
Right.
It's a 2 minute process.
What are you going to do with the other minute and 50 seconds?
I don't even know.
Use your folding mate.
How does this...
I don't need to use the folding mate. It's automatic.
Listen, how does this accomplish what my crazy Oral-B thing accomplishes in 2 minutes? How does this thing accomplish that in 10 seconds?
So there's I can't believe there's brushes on both sides of the tooth for every tooth, and you just go flip, top and bottom, and it literally looks like a pacifier.
Look, I gotta tell you, bro, I have incredibly healthy gums and teeth. Like my dentist always compliments me on the health of my gums and teeth because I take care of my shit because I'm not a slob, right?
Right.
Now, here's the thing. I deliberately make my gums bleed on a daily basis. That's how I know I'm getting them clean.
Right. Like if it burns, it's working. Yes.
Right. This thing isn't gonna make my gums bleed. I'm looking at it. I can see it now. It's very unthreatening. There's going to be no gums bleeding in 10 seconds. There's no way this thing is going to do for me what I can do to myself with like an Oral-B thing. Crazy thing that
right.
Not that costly, but, takes 2 minutes. This is crazy. 10 seconds? Look, that's like my kids get in the shower and they get out and I go, you wash your hair? Yeah. I don't believe you. Did you wash your face? Yeah. No, I don't believe you. Is there any chance you wash your ass at all? You did. You're going to admit you didn't do that. Get back in the shower. That's the problem. Is it's another half hour, CJ, of my kids getting a shower before they can go to bed. This is what this thing is to me. Do it over. Do it again. Do it again. Did you do it? Did you do it? Do it again. Because it's not done right.
I feel like this is the you tried star for teeth brushing.
Right. I'm thinking about it and feeling dirty teeth. I'm going to have to go upstairs and make my gums bleed right now. Because this is not okay. And everything they're saying is not okay. It's It's basically a bunch of people with halitosis talking to you all day. Do you want people with halitosis talking to you all day? I don't. Just rotten teeth, people talking to you? No.
So listen. Here's the facts that they're giving, and then I want your nerd degree on this. The fact one is that every other person, this is a crazy stat, avoids brushing their teeth in the evening because they're too tired.
What?
I listen, I don't agree with these facts at all. The average toothbrushing time is 60 seconds instead of the recommended 180.
You should get an Oral-B thing that tells you when it's time to switch quadrants. What are you people, animals?
Fact 3.
What are you doing with your teeth?
You waste
you separate your mouth into quadrants?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, man.
Quadrants. Who taught you how to brush your teeth, Brian?
How do you brush your
the
teeth?
Shit out of them. I don't have quadrants.
What are you, like a monkey? You just rubbing bananas on your face and you think that's brushing your teeth?
Bananas are delicious.
But it's not cleaning your teeth or freshening your breath in any way.
During your lifetime, you waste 108 whole days just brushing your teeth. And fact number 4, 90% of all dental gum disease are caused simply by incorrectly brushing your teeth. This is ridiculous. What is your final say within this, Josh Burns? Does this pass the nerd degree?
My final say is as follows. First and foremost, if they're going to say how much time you're losing brushing your teeth, I wonder if they're measuring the time you're losing sitting in a dentist chair getting all your teeth worked on because you only brush for 10 seconds a fucking day. That's number 1. Number 2, I give this 4 giant thumbs down. 2 of mine and 2 of a person to be named later because that's how we always rank it in the nerd degree.
That's right.
It's 2 thumbs down
2
or
thumbs
more.
down. That's always
or
what we
this
do.
is 4 thumbs down.
Right, okay.
I'm just going to go with the standard 2 thumbs down.
Absolutely, I won't deviate from our standard metric. 2 thumbs down.
4 thumbs down.
Can't believe it. Get your act together, Internet. And Kickstarter, stop this. That's a bad Kickstarter. Stop it now.
We love movies, don't we, Brian?
We love movies.
We love them. We love them to death. Then there's nothing more that we love than making them better than they already are. In some cases, we do it for movies past. In some cases, we do for remakes. Right now, this week, we're going to cast this. Beetlejuice.
Cast this.
God. I apologize for everybody for that.
It's so metal.
I'm
that
so
I love
sorry
it so much.
for whomever's car speakers just went, what the hell? Or whoever just tripped on your walk. I'm so
good.
sorry.
So good.
I should have warned you.
So here's the deal.
You.
CJ is going to moderate Brian and I recasting a movie. We're going to do it hopefully every week. This week is going to be Beetlejuice. I won't set rules. I'll leave that to CJ. But we're going to recast the movie Beetlejuice. We're going to recast Adam, Barb, Beetlejuice, Lydia Dietz, Delia Dietz, Charles Dietz, and their personal assistant, Otho.
I feel like you said Beetlejuice way too many times.
Ooh, don't say it too many times. Don't say it too many times.
I think I said it twice.
He may show up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So let's cool it down just a little bit.
Indeed.
All right.
Don't need him showing up.
You don't want who showing up.
I see what you're trying to do.
All right, I'm just checking.
Not going to work.
I was testing.
Listen, we've said Creed enough times that Scott Stapp is going to pop out soon.
I'm afraid for my life. I think he's going to come after me.
And he'll come at you with arms wide open.
Oh,
he will. And at the end of that day,
all right,
won't seem so far
the
down.
rules this week are that everyone only gets one cast list, so no double casting the roles.
Yeah. Oh, too late.
The other rule beyond that is there are no rules. So we'll get some standard ones for next week. But remember to add context to your actors or actresses, please.
I shall try. I think I'm going to call this right now. I think we have at least one in common. And if we don't, I'm going to be very disappointed in you.
I think I will be very disappointed in you if we do not have at least one in common.
All right, so we're starting this off with Adam, played by Alec Baldwin. And we're starting with Brian's first pick.
I have John Hamm as Adam.
I have Adam Scott, who you know from Parks and Rec, among many other things.
Okay. I can see that. I like John Hamm. I feel like John Hamm is this generation's Alec Baldwin. And I don't need to tell you who John Hamm is.
That is true.
You should all know who John Hamm is.
That is very true.
I think he's too strong for the character. I thought about John Hamm, and I settled on Adam Scott because I feel like...
Yeah, make your case for Adam Scott, because right now, John Hamm is winning.
Understood. I feel like the character of Adam was far less confident and much more sort of leading with his face. And John Hamm reminds me of a very confident person. Adam Scott is sort of waffling, floundering, stuttering, a bit like Adam in the movie.
I think you are too busy thinking John Hamm from Mad Men and not enough John Hamm from
Bridesmaids,
a ton of other stuff.
Everything else.
I can see that. I don't have anything against John Hamm, and I don't hate him as a square-jawed, sort of strong male character.
I want you to think of just the one scene that John Hamm is in Parks and Rec and tell me that's not Adam.
I will acquiesce John Hamm.
Yay, John Hamm for the win, Brian. John Hamm, wonderful job.
You win.
All right, the next one is Barb, which originally played by Gina Davis. And we're starting with Josh this round.
Amy Poehler.
Okay, also from Parks and Recreation.
I'm sorry, this isn't a theme. I swear to God, it's not a theme. But Amy Poehler is what I saw as sort of the smart, but also sort of ditzy, funny, clumsy.
Okay,
Barb.
Brian, your pick.
So for all the same reasons, I picked Liv Tyler, who you know from Lord of the Rings and Empire Records and Armageddon.
I don't.
I don't see her hitting any marks in comedy at all.
Oh, no. I'm having a real problem with Liv Tyler, and I love Liv Tyler, not for what you said, but Empire Records. I love Liv Tyler. I don't see her as a Gina Davis.
Yeah. No, I don't see her. Can you make any other? What is your reason then for casting her? Why is that a better pick than Amy Poehler?
I mean, I never saw Barb as like too comedic. I always saw her more as like the kind of brainy sweet girl. And when
it was her expressive faces that did it for me.
That's not Liv Tyler.
No, that's not Liv Tyler. If we're gonna go with that reasoning, sure.
That's what Gina Davis is. She acts with her face.
Okay, can you let me finish my sentence?
Can you let me finish?
I will acquiesce to Amy Poehler.
All right, yes! Amy Poehler. It's 1-1. The next one is Lydia, played originally by Winona Ryder, and I would like to start with Brian for this round.
This is the one that I think we should have the same person for, and if I say this, we don't.
Go ahead. Who is it?
I have Aubrey Plaza.
Also from Parks and Recreation.
Parks and Rec. Mike and Dave D Wedding Dates.
I have not as good a pick.
Oh. So
all right.
Who's your crappy pick?
I don't think she's crappy. I have Mackenzie Foy, who played young Murph in Interstellar, and she was Renesmee in Twilight.
Okay.
I think she's a really good pick, but it's not anywhere close to Aubrey Plaza. But Aubrey Plaza is so much older, which is why I went Mackenzie.
But she looks young,
and she can play young. Well.
I can't compete with Aubrey Plaza. I cannot. Yeah, it's like saying, "Hey guys, have you ever seen Wednesday Addams?" Oh yeah, it's Christina Ricci, and no one else fucking ever. Aubrey Plaza is the right pick.
You're just so happy with yourself.
That's the right pick. I should have had that. It's so good. It should have been mine.
The next is Otho, originally played by Glenn Shattuck. And I'm going to start with Josh for this round.
This is the one I was hoping we would have the same. I have Jack Black.
Oh, we don't have the same.
Nope.
I have Josh Gad. Gad from
LaFoon,
Beauty and the Beast.
I'm fine with either one of those. I don't have a problem with Josh Gad as sort of the new Jack Black.
Yeah.
I still go with Jack Black.
I mean, I'd be happy with Jack Black too.
So listen, both. Okay. Whoa. Okay.
I like both our picks as the problem.
Why is Jack Black better than Josh Gad?
Because he's a bit older, which Otho was. He had clearly been an advisor to Lydia Dietz for a while, even because she's a crazy artist. But he is just so much more expressive and just crazy. Josh Gad can play those things. I don't buy him as actually crazy, where I get Jack Black as actually crazy.
And Brian, what is your defense to that?
I mean, I think Josh Gad, I think he can play crazy. When I think of Otho, I think of this like overexpressive guy. And as much as I love Jack Black, and I think he can do it, I think he's overexpressive. He's more like the
You're talking flamboyant.
That's not like that's yes and no.
Well, I mean, but Otho was right a bit flamboyant.
And when I think of that, and I saw him, Josh Gad play LeFou in Beauty and the Beast, I'm like,
right.
oh,
you're saying that Jack Black can't play flamboyant.
I'm saying to
Jack
make a
Black
ruling.
is too rocker.
We need a ruling.
I'm going to make a ruling based on this argument. I'm going to give it to Jack Black.
I thought so.
We're 2 for 2.
It's the best. All right, let's go with Delia, originally played by Catherine O'Hara. And we're going to start with Josh.
Elizabeth Banks is the only person I saw to play this role.
Pitch Perfect, Hunger Games. It's
40-year-old
virgin Scrubs.
Yes, 40-year-old virgin. Yes, Scrubs, obviously.
Okay, Brian, let's try to top Elizabeth Banks.
I don't like my pick, so I'm probably going to give this to Josh.
Okay, who you got?
I had Jennifer Coolidge. She is that girl in a bunch of stuff. She was on Two Broke Girls. She's been in episodes of Glee. She's been in a lot of different things that you probably don't watch, honestly.
Stifler's mom.
Stifler's mom, yeah.
Yes.
Jennifer Coolidge is Stifler's mom.
She's funny. Are you just conceding this round over to Elizabeth Banks?
I mean, unless Josh likes my pick for some reason.
I mean, I like it. I don't like it as much, but I don't hate it. It's actually...
It's an interesting pick. It really is.
It's a really good low-budget pick.
Well, I'm already paying a ton of money for John Hamm, so...
Obviously, I like Elizabeth. I like Elizabeth Banks better. But this isn't a bad pick.
It's not a bad pick, but you're right. Elizabeth Banks is better. So
I think she does a better deal.
I'm going to give it to Josh.
All right.
So let's look at Charles, originally played by Jeffrey Jones. If you don't know, he was the principal.
Principal in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and not famous for anything else.
He was in Howard the Duck.
An awful human being otherwise. All right,
he was in Howard the Duck.
Let's start with Brian.
Okay, so the reason I picked Jennifer Coolidge is because I picked Charles first, and I was trying to think of somebody who could like pair with him well. And I'm going to say this name, and you're not going to know it right off the bat, but you'll know it once I tell you some stuff he's been in. I picked Stephen Root.
Okay. I know Stephen Root. Okay. Are you kidding me? Jimmy
Root?
James, the man so nice they named him twice. He was Milton in Office Space.
Milton in Office Space. Yes. He was in Dodgeball.
Boardwalk Empire.
He's a ton, but a bunch of stuff.
Correct. The man is an actually really good serious actor.
You know what's funny is that you paired these two together, and I paired these two together.
You have to.
Let's hear you. Let's hear you.
So
Josh.
You went Stephen Root and and I went Elizabeth Banks and Jason Sudeikis.
Okay.
As
a pairing for Elizabeth Banks.
As Charles Dietz,
it works.
Jason Sudeikis works for me.
But I could totally do it.
I really like Stephen Root.
Oh, it would be amazing. Stephen Root would be amazing.
Yes. I think he'll bounce off anybody.
Sure. I will acquiesce Jason Sudeikis for Stephen Root. Absolutely.
So we're tied going into Beetlejuice.
So that means that's it. It's the man who only spends just a few minutes on the screen, but makes an impact. So the man who shall not be named right now, but rhymes with Beetlemoose.
Beetlemoose.
Originally played, of course, by Michael Keaton.
I went so unorthodox.
And I would love to start with your unorthodox cast.
Jason Mantzoukas. Raffi from The League.
Whoa. Okay, Brian, I don't want to hear anything yet.
I know
I don't want to
Brian,
hear anything yet. I just want to hear Brian's pick. Brian?
I had such a hard time with this. I'm torn between two.
I went, how can I recast Michael Keaton? How can I do that?
Yeah, I know. Brian, I want to hear your pick.
Can I get a weighing on my two, or do I need to pick one?
You have to pick one.
Pick one.
I picked one. Pick one.
That's my only other rule besides there are no rules.
Adam Devine.
Okay, so we know him from
Adam Devine was in Pitch Perfect
and Workaholics.
Correct.
Okay, I would love to hear your case, Brian, and then Josh, I would like to hear yours because you're very interesting.
Just like you were, I feel like the Beetlejuice character needs to be like kind of crazy and expressive, and that's Adam Devine to a T. I was on the fence about him because he doesn't exactly look the part, but I think he could if you really wanted to,
makeup
with makeup and everything. But
why is he a better pick than Josh?
He's not.
He is, because I don't see... What's his name? Here's the problem. I don't even know the actor's name. I only know him as Ralphie. And I've seen him in other things. And the problem is...
You know him as Rafi, but that's fine. Cool.
But the problem is he's always Rafi. I've seen him in Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I've seen him in Parks and Rec. But he's always that character. All this
stuff is accurate. This is all accurate. Brian's claims are all accurate.
Right.
Adam Devine is a far bigger name, but he's nowhere near as disgusting as we know this actor to be.
Man.
And the thing is,
Beetlejuice
when you see Raffi as Beetlejuice being disgusting, saying disgusting things, really taking it to the limit, way beyond what Michael Keaton even did, taking it to the limit, grabbing his crotch, saying ridiculous things, you go, I believe this guy. Where you look at Adam Devine, as hilarious as he is, he's just this side of disgusting. He's just tolerable.
So Brian, that's an accurate point, Josh. So Brian, this is your final retort.
Wait, he gets a fucking cross-examination?
I don't get a final retort.
He gets a rebuttal to my shit?
I would just listen. There are no rules except for the rules I make. So you sit down and you let this happen.
Now you're right. There's no rules, Brian. Do your
I don't have a rebuttal. I think you're right. I to the point where, like, yes, Beetlejuice needs to be.
Josh, this is what I was actually waiting for right there. It was just that sentence.
Oh, but why? Because I said it for the third time.
Go ahead.
He needs to be disgusting, but I don't think that's outside of Adam Devine's realm. I think he's butted up against the line plenty of times. I don't think he would have a problem pushing past that line.
The thing I can cite for Brian's defense is Workaholics, right?
Workaholics.
I've watched Workaholics.
And even Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates. He was pretty gross in that.
Nowhere near as disgusting as Raffi.
It's very true. This is tough.
Make a ruling.
Hang on. I want you to think. You need to think of every other role that guy's been in, because
Brian's desperate.
No,
Look
I'm not
how
desperate.
Brian is.
I'm not desperate, but listen, he's not always that character.
He needs to defeat me.
He's not,
but
he's not always that disgusting. He's always Rafi, but he's not always that disgusting.
No, he's always. Yeah. He's always disgusting.
CJ, could you just make a ruling? Could you please?
Okay, all right. This is tough because these are two very different ways to approach this character, and different qualifications as to what this character needs to be. But the one that has the right spirit, and I think the one that would win, as the last time I'll say this on the podcast, the one that will win Beetlejuice is Josh's pick.
Of course it is.
Oh shit!
Listen, it's a slim. Listen, before you claim, I got robbed. That's a slim margin, because
I didn't say. I'm not saying I got robbed.
I'm really thinking of Workaholics and just looking at what Adam Devine can do based off that role. And you're right on. I just don't think he's going to hit the mark with the other members of the cast that we have too, to be Beetlejuice.
I'm actually super thrilled that we were able to put together a cast, and we both had great picks, but man, I was blown away by some of yours. They were really, really solid stuff.
This was good work on your part, guys. Good work. We obviously want to hear what you guys think about these picks, right? And what you guys think about the show and cast this in general. So please be sure to reach out to us on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, or of course, go to thatkindofnerd.com and leave a comment here for the note.
Also, studios, you can get at me directly.
Well, listen, thank you.
At JNubs572 on Twitter. Just go ahead and hit me up. You can slide right in my DMs.
Listen, thank you guys so much for making us your walk around your neighborhood or your drive to work. Please, again, support the show on Patreon at patreon.com/thatkindofnerd. I am CJ Mellon, joined, of course, by Josh Burns and Brian Thornton, and we will see you all next week.
If you love comics and sci-fi and technology, television, video games, and fantasy, well, take a listen to our show. I'm sure you'll see there's many points where we can agree. Like that Martha as a plot point was just too absurd, and Apple versus Android is a case to be heard, and that Josh Trank's new Fantastic Four was a turd. Well, welcome to the club, 'cause you are that kind of nerd.
No matter what anybody says, I still like Creed, okay? Like, I still like them.
Don't fucking lie to me, you have feet. I know.
I come back to CJ trying to scare Brian. What's going on?
He's moving his mic with his mind, Josh.
There's no cables. Hands up, see, still moving, not moving.
This is very strange. Like everything that's happening is very strange.
I need more whiskey. Allow me.
You guys have driven me to drink. I have to refill my vodka. I'm going to Kickstarter their face with my foot.
CJ hates us right now at this moment. Hold me now. I'm 6 feet from the edge and I'm thinking maybe 6 feet ain't so far down.